Honda believes in the power of dreams, and as Einstein put it, imagination is more powerful than knowledge.
Welcome to Tech in the Car. In this video I'm going to show you around this. This is a Honda E. This is Honda's first all-electric car, inspired by the Honda Civic from the 1970s. This car has a lot of really cool features. It looks like you imagine a car from the future would look, and in this video I'm going to show you around it, explain the features, show you the infotainment, take you for a drive, and generally tell you everything I love about this car. Don't forget to hit the like button if you find this helpful, and consider subscribing if you want more videos from me. It really helps and it's free. Let's get into it. Let's start with talking a bit about the cars. This is a Honda E Advance. There's also the standard Honda E. The Honda E has 100 kilowatts of power and the Honda E Advance has 113 kilowatts of power. Both have a 35.5 kilowatt hour battery, which is good for about 125 miles of WLTP range. It's slightly more for the Advance, slightly less for the standard, and we're going to have a look and see what that's like in the real world as well. Honda designed this car as a city car. That's what it is. It's a totally new design. It doesn't share its features with anything else which Honda makes, and it's got a really simple but very focused design. It's designed to work in a city, and they studied the traffic and patterns in multiple European cities to figure out what would work best, and it shows. Size-wise, it's about the same length as a Honda Jazz, but it's a lot more spacious inside with the electric design, meaning there's no tunnel running through the middle and there's a lot more space, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. This car is unashamedly electric. It's got its charging port right up the front here. Of course, it's waterproof, I never thought of that, and it has CCS rapid charging. You can charge this car to 80% on a 150 kilowatt charger in 30 minutes, and on a 50 kilowatt charger you can do it in 31 minutes. Not much in it, but either way it's pretty fast. That's probably down to battery management software. This car, if you plug it in at night and charge it overnight, driving around a city, because it is a city car, will give you more than enough range. The only time where you might want to get that 100% is if you're traveling longer distances where every mile counts. On the outside, this car has something which distinctly makes it really, really unusual, and that is there are no mirrors. These mirrors are actually cameras. There's no wing mirrors, and that means that in a narrow city with lots of cars parked, you don't have to worry about somebody coming along and hitting your wing mirror and taking it off. And what's more, Honda have thought about in great detail. Not only can you move them up and down like a traditional mirror, there's also a wide angle choice so you can see more of what's around you, and it's rain repelling, so it means even in the worst weather you're not going to have any issues with the rain. And actually having the cameras on the inside on screens means that you don't have your view obstructed by any dirt on the windows or anything else which might get in your way, especially at night time when it gets darker and you can't see very clearly. Plus you get used to it really, really quickly, and they also show you all the traditional stuff you would expect, like blind spot indicators, and there's even lines showing you the distance to the car behind you, so you can see when you're changing lane how close you are to that car, even if you're not used to having a camera instead of a mirror. Plus, like I said before, it looks really cool. And just in case you thought these wing mirrors are only for show, they also help reduce drag. And this car has been really, really well designed, including a fully glass roof. And that means the inside feels incredibly airy and spacious. Let's talk about these lights. These lights are really cool. We've got a circular design, very reminiscent of the 1970s Honda Civic, like we already said. And this has got a really clean design. This black front here, it looks a bit like a robot, like Honda's Asimo robot. And it just looks really distinctive. It also hides a lot of sensors. The adaptive cruise control is hidden here, and there's cameras here as well. We've got the same round lights, which are really cool, clear and see-through, but have the circular LEDs. And then we have the same black bar, which you can see on the front of the car. Again, cameras and sensors and reversing lights are all built into this design. At the back of the Honda E, we have 171 litres. This is by no means a big boot, but for your city trips, going around getting shopping, this is more than enough space. In the back here, there are hooks like you would expect there to be, including to attach your charging cables to, and there is a parcel shelf which is removable. This car has such a distinctive design that you're willing to forgive little things like not much space in the back when you look at this beautiful futuristic car, which Honda have really taken the step and a lead in far as design is concerned, and it should win design awards if it hasn't won any design awards already.
One of the coolest features of the Honda E,
the pop-out door handles. You've got those bulging wheel arches at the front, which look amazing. And on the advanced model, you have 17-inch alloy wheels in that black design, which look particularly attractive, mated with this blue color. Lots of people think this car is only a two-door because they're not aware of where the door handle is at the back. And the back glass is tinted as well, so it doesn't look like there are back doors, but there are. The handle's hidden here in the door. You just pull it open, and just like the front, it's got a frameless surround. So what about space in this car? There's tons of space in this car. I can feel here the seats are nice and forward. There's space because they're quite thin, and there's no center floor, so there's lots here. And the back, although it's quite upright, it feels really comfortable. This car has fantastic padding. I would compare this to the kind of padding you can get on a top of class BMW or Audi. It feels really, really comfortable in here and very, very airy. And the frameless windows also look amazing. So in case you wanted to put your dog in the car, this is how much space there is on the back seat. And she looks very comfortable there. Let's talk about the interior of this fantastic car, and it is a fantastic car. You've got two 12-inch screens in the middle here, which you can have your navigation, your battery information. You can use the HDMI to plug in a games console or an iPad or your computer, and you can even charge it with the full 230-volt mains power socket, which is amazing. And of course I can tap on this and I can move my apps across the screen and scroll through like it was my smartphone and move everything around. And then if I want to swap sides, no problem. I just hit the button and swap sides. How cool is that? The interior here has a faux wood design, but it feels really nice. There's something about this car's interior where even though it's not a big car, it feels very spacious. Maybe the fact that this center console is floating helps with that effect, but it just feels like there's a lot of room in here and you don't feel at all cramped. The glass roof also helps immensely. Having a panoramic roof like this, which is glass, adds in so much air and light. And of course, if you don't want that light, you can of course pull the cover across to get rid of it, but we prefer it with it open. But we have a mirror, which is also a screen. You can use it as a normal mirror, and then you can flick it back to being a screen. And then in the middle, you have a traditional AC system. You can turn the heating up and down using buttons. You don't have to worry about anything fancy, although you can use your voice with the Honda Assistant. Up top here you have your buttons. You've got a home button, a button which lets you adjust the brightness of the screen, turn the radio on and off, and adjust the volume. And then we've got an auto park button which will put it into automatic parking, which is really cool to see as well. On the side stalks you have controls to enter the camera, so you can see the 360 multi-angle camera. Down here in the middle we have this floating center console, which is very simple. It's got a button for park, a button for reverse, one for neutral and one for drive, and you've got your regen braking button down here as well. And then you've got your drive modes between normal and sport, your parking brake, which is electronic, and your auto hold, or your brake hold as it says on here. You've got a really good sound system as well in here. I love the interior of this. It makes me really, really happy to be in this car. Right, let's go for a drive. This car is a city car. It's a combination of the future and with a retro look of the past, and it's a really fun car to drive with all this cool technology on the inside. I have to be honest and say that out of all the cars I've driven right now, this is probably the most enjoyable for me as a gadget lover, as a tech lover. This car is amazing. I'm driving through the countryside now on the outskirts of London, and what's great about driving through obviously the outskirts of London in a country road with a small car is you don't have to worry about running out of space. In a bigger car down these tight country lanes, that would be an issue. In this car, no problem. And of course this car has a fantastic turning circle which is able to turn in really, really small spaces, both reversing and of course going around forwards, which you would expect it to do. And those things mean that it's really nimble and easy to get around where the roads are narrow, where there's loads of traffic and not much space. And that's one thing I really love about this car. The other thing I love about this car is the fact there's no mirrors, because what that means is I don't have to worry about the wing mirrors getting hit by somebody going past. Although I think the police there could have gone a bit slower. Anyway,
The fact that this car is really nimble, but it doesn't compromise on space. There's plenty of space in the back, and you don't feel like you're in a small car either. You feel like you're in a much more spacious car. Maybe it's a result of the design, which is very clever, with this wooden finish on the dashboard, with all these displays, with the mirrors on the screens here on the side. Maybe it's all down to that. Maybe it's just Honda, in a very Japanese way, have really efficiently figured it out. But it works really well, and I really, really like it. And I think the Honda is something really, really exciting with the Honda E here. The car feels very planted. Obviously, going around corners, you can't take too much speed into it because it isn't a sports car. You do definitely feel some roll. Overall, this car feels great fun. The nimbleness, the size, and even though it doesn't have a massively powerful motor here, it's still got enough power, and that combined with the size of it means it's just a lot of fun to drive. I mean, I really enjoyed this. And this is a head turner of a car. I mean, the car I'm in is in blue, and maybe if it was in a darker color, it wouldn't be quite so much of a head turner, but in this color, or the yellow that you can get, everybody looks at this car. I think part of the buying experience for this car really comes down to the way that people seem to be drawn to it. Like if you had a supercar or a hypercar, I feel like you get more looks in this car than you would do in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, or, you know, if we're going to go really exotic, in a Bugatti. People don't know what this car is. So to conclude, what's my tech in the car score for this, the Honda E? For comfort, 4 out of 5. It's a really comfortable car. For connectivity, 5 out of 5. It's connected to the internet. You've got all those screens, wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, everything you could want in this car. For driver assistance, 5 out of 5. It's got all the latest driving features: adaptive cruise control, lane assist, auto parking, which will come up in the parking bit in a minute, and it's got more warnings and advanced alerts than any other car I've seen. So, you know, awesome. 5 out of 5 for that. For parking, 5 out of 5, because it's got a tiny turning circle of 4.3 meters, which is about half of a London taxi. Plus it's got the 360 camera, the top-down view, and everything you could want, and the auto parking, and a wing mirror, so you don't have to worry about clipping your wing mirrors. So top notch for parking. And then of course we have the environment, 5 out of 5 for environmental electric car, and value, 4 out of 5. Overall, that gives us a tech in the car score of 28 out of 30. I really, really like this car. I think this car is fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up buying one of these as my next car, and I hope that you have the opportunity to go and check one of these out where you live. Please give this a thumbs up if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more, and if you have any questions, comment down below. See you in the next video. Thank you very much, everyone.